I do think it's really important for us to consistently pursue what is difficult yet most fulfilling in life. I've talked a lot about how comfort is a kind of pernicious curse that can tempt us when we exclusively orient towards it, because the exclusive orientation towards comfort, what is most easy in the moment, is a kind of psychological disposition that will really hinder our growth as individuals. I've said many times, we need friction in order to grow. We need that that challenge in order to really test us and then allow us to expand our capacities and to develop as individuals. When we continually orient towards comfort, we are not afforded that opportunity to really learn, to really explore our deepest limits and capacities, you know. And I think really the most fulfilling work will come through things that are very challenging, through things that feel almost slightly uncomfortable to do in the moment, you know. But like I'm articulating. I apologise as well if I sound nasally. I'm just recovering from a cold at the moment, so probably will not be as flowy and articulate as I mostly am. You can kind of hear it in my nose at the moment, but I still feel compelled to record a little something, some little, you know, activations that are stumbling around in my mind at the moment. So I apologise if I sound a little bit slow, a little bit more, creative block, but just bear with me. If you're listening so far, you're clearly keeping up with me. So but yeah, to come back to the sort of question of comfort and doing great and fulfilling work, you know, I think work. I mean, work is a word that may has many different meanings to different people. Sometimes we're almost conditioned to feel as though work has to be boring and unsatisfying. But that's often when the work is, say, just planted at us and told to do. Say when we're in school and we're given assignments to do. I think when the work isn't self-directed, that is when we're not in ourselves discovering what we want to explore, what we want to work upon. When it's put down on you on from the top down, that often leads to unsatisfying work. And you can see how our school systems, they're not really designed to encourage that internal sense of exploration. They're really designed to condition you into a state of almost submissive servitude that will prepare you, say, for a kind of job where you're meant to be, responding to assignments that are given to you, jobs, responsibilities, and stuff. It's not a good or a bad thing. It is what it is. There's a kind of necessary reality to that kind of organizational structure when you have um, groups of human beings working towards something. But you know, for those who are more sort of less inclined towards you know working for another person when they want to really work on something that is authentically themselves, they have to learn to self-direct their work, to self-direct their learning and their engagements within the world. Sorry, they have to learn to become a autodidact, which is someone who knows how to teach themselves something, to really take sovereignty over their learning, their attention, and their behavior, and to channel it in a kind of purposeful manner. You know, and I think that activity of discovering what you find meaningful, what really arouses your curiosity. When you discover that, working in that direction, it will not feel like work in the more, negative sense. It will feel like you have an endless source of energy for pursuing it. And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like you are degrading yourself and nullifying yourself, nullifying that childlike curiosity within you when you're doing this kind of work. It feels like, yes, I'm moving in an aligned direction right now. And because of that aligned direction, you will find yourself in deep states of flow. You'll find yourself that really committed to that endeavor. I think it's very important to our psychological well-being to feel as though, that what we are doing, where our attention and energies are being directed towards, we want to feel as though that is being directed in a meaningful engagement with the world. You know, that meaningful coupling between you, the individual, and the world, the other people that surround you, and the wider cosmos. That alignment will lead to lasting fulfillment. You know, when we are sort of misaligned, when we feel this kind of disconnect from the world, when we feel like our attention, our energies are being wasted, or they're just being misallocated in frivolous distractions and just bullshit, you know, that will manifest as depression, that will manifest as anxiety, a sense of apathy and indifference to the world, because quite simply you are in a state of disequilibrium. And these we shouldn't blunt these sort of emotions with, say, drugs or prescription antidepressants. We should listen to what they're telling us. They're telling us something deep and profound, that the way we are currently calibrated is not right. And to in order to recalibrate, one must really turn their attention inwards to look at the way they're looking at the world right now, to look at how they're channeling their resources, how is their environments currently, constructed. What is it about their current environment, their current mental state, that is contributing to these negative patterns, these patterns of feeling low energy, of feeling unmotivated, of just feeling overall just drained. Because there are these states of depression, these states of low energy. They're not permanent. Often they come because, say, we're mistreating our bodies. Maybe we're overworking, overstressed. Maybe we're consuming, food that is not nourishing us, but is really just destroying us slowly and destroying our energy capacities. You should really pay attention to all these little things. Because it's you. You've got to take care of yourself so that you can then be of even greater value, not just to yourself, but to the people that you care about, to the wider communities that you are situated within. Do not do all these things. Do not take care of yourself and work just so you can have your own egotistical aggrandizement. For all these sort of shiny material objects and the status and the fame that you may acclaim. Do it because it's good and it's right. You know, when you cultivate that energy within yourself, that energy of commitment, of love, of compassion, of alignment to truth and bettering, yourself and the world. That's really, I think, the highest responsibility that we can all take on in our lives. No matter where we are. You should really notice when, in every moment of experience that occurs throughout your day, and the decisions that you're making. Are these decisions taking you towards something better, or are they taking you towards distraction, towards decadence, towards degrading yourself? And this constant sort of appraisal of the decisions that you're making, it shouldn't be a kind of a neurotic overthinking thing. It should be kind of a hotter or colder kind of sensation that you feel within your gut. You know when you're doing the right thing within the moment. Because it will feel like a flow. It will feel like ah, your mind will kind of slow to a steady silence, and the actions, the words will just flow out of you almost effortlessly. It's like you're becoming a channel for something deep within you to come out. You know, when we're sort of engaged in the world in a sort of a misaligned kind of way, this leads to almost psychological fragmentation, a kind of dissonance in the mind. You'll feel uneased, but you won't be able to put your finger quite on what exactly it is, until you look, until bring the unconscious to consciousness, and then you will understand, all the manners or the ways in which you are sort of misaligned, all the sources of attentional and energetic drain that stumble throughout your day, maybe through endless scrolling or video games or some sort of another, or you know people who you waste your energy upon, who don't really care about you. All these sorts of things. You need discernment in order to judge. In order to judge, whether the actions that you're currently doing are, you know, in that alignment to what you truly hold to be valuable and worthwhile. And I think we should all be patient, on this journey, and allow yourself to repeatedly make mistakes, because mistakes are really opportunities for growth when you properly look at them, because they're telling you of what are the current deficits within your being, the things that you need to work on currently. You know, you're not gonna learn if you're constantly making right decisions all the time. I mean, because we're all human, we all are flawed, we're all imperfect. But as long as we're in the core of our being, sort of striving towards, that right direction, even if we're making mistakes, as long as you hold a sort of an honest disposition, an honest striving towards better, that'll be good enough, But yeah, I think I'll leave that at that. Hope that's been interesting. Um, enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.